Okay, I did find a signpost. Every now and then you find these on the trail, and sometimes they leave stuff for hikers that are coming through here. Water or first aid supplies. There's another road here that goes back. And I see people back there dispersed camping. So I may just cruise down that road and check it out. I wonder what happened to this tree.
So someday when my ship comes in, I know just what we'll do. We'll pack our bags and quit our jobs and have a holiday for two. We'll pack our bags and quit our jobs and have a holiday for two.
Good morning, everybody. This is our second day at Marshall Lake. I just rolled the quad out. And we had some rain last night. Starting around 6 o'clock, right around dinner time. And went on and off for the night. I think we had more rain like around midnight too. But hopefully today will clear up a little bit and the rain will go away. Where are you, bird? Oh, there he is. He's sitting up on top of that tree right there. Way up there. I'm going to take the quad out and show you around Marshall Lake. I really like this place. There's a lot of places to camp in here. It was kind of funny. It was about 7:30 last night and the rain was starting and going, and all of a sudden I noticed headlights out here. Somebody pulled in here and parked right in this spot right next to us. I'm like, of all the places here to pull in and park, she had to park within like 30 feet of our camper, so it was kind of weird. I noticed a lot of people pull in here just for the night and then they're gone. And I think that's because we're right close to this turnoff goes up to the observatory up there. And apparently that observatory is not something you can go to as, public can't go to it. But we drove up there. I'll show you. They have a bunch of different telescopes up there, and I think it's used by the Lowell Observatory, but this one up here is a working observatory. So this one is used by astronomers and stuff are signed up to use these observatories up here. It's not one that's necessarily for the public to come and visit. But they do have, if you go into Flagstaff, they have the Lowell Observatory, and I've been there, and it's really cool. People find all kind of places to... I don't know how he got back in there. There's a big Class A over there. Nice and quiet. So I want to go out and just drive around and show you some of the areas around here where you can camp. And a lot of cool areas to camp around here. As I was coming back from the lake last night, I counted about 50 sites where you could camp. And a lot of them are spread out. So if you had some people with you, you could come in there and have plenty of room. But at least 50, and probably 25 of them were occupied. So there was a lot of open spaces available, a lot of open sites available to camp. So I want to go around and do that in just a minute and get this all ready. I got to put some gas in this. And I do keep a little gas tank in there, so I'm going to fill this up and put some more gas in it, because it's like... What is it at? See, I got a half a tank right there. I got half a tank, so I'm going to put some gas in that, so I got plenty for the rest of our trip here. So we're here today, and then tomorrow we go to Pine Grove that we haven't been to for a while. And then we're going to head down. I'm not sure where I'm going to stay yet. This trip is kind of a improvise. I'd like to stay on Stoneman Lake Road, or the 135. There's another spot just off to the east side of the highway, but we're going to be going down Lake Mary Road, Highway 3. That's the rest of our trip. But it is supposed to start drying out and warming up. All right. Oh, it is full. And it just about filled it up. Yay. This is what I'm talking about. Crazy. I got my solar panel laying on the ground trying to. I can't seem to find a good spot. It was doing really good there a minute ago because the sun was shining. I was getting almost 100 watts on that one and 100 watts on the top there. Now I'm getting about 60 because of the sun going away. Oh well, the pitfalls of camping. Let's go. All right, gonna take you up Marshall Lake Road from our campsite all the way to the lake. Now this is about a mile, maybe a little over a mile from where we camped at the beginning of the trail, all the way back to the lake. And there is so much camping back here. I was just so surprised. I think I did a rough count of about 50 places along here where you can, or areas and sites where you can pull in and get back in the trees and camp. And about half of them were full. There were still half of them that were open. Really nice area. This is all about 7,200 feet, 7,300 feet through here. So it's a nice altitude because it'll be a little cooler in the summertime. Give you the cool nighttime temperatures, especially when it's hot in the valley. People like to come up here and get away for a few days. There's a 14-day stay limit. And there are a lot of campsites that are close to the road. And I was really surprised. I decided to take this trail, the 128B, and see just how far back this went. And this was a trail I found out that is used by the logging trucks, as we'll see a little bit later. I think I'll show those to you. But the logging trucks go up this road, and since they use this road quite frequently, it's smooth. And there's places back here I think a lot of folks don't realize. I just came down a 128B, and now I realize why we were seeing those big trucks come by, because it's a logging operation up this road. But there is dispersed camping all up and through here. And then over here, take a look. All this area. And the road is nice because it's all flattened out because of the big trucks coming through here. So I'm going to go back a little farther and see just how far back it goes. But I'm sure there's more dispersed camping back here on this 128. But you could actually pull off in there, and that's really nice. Look how it's really level out there. And you just have a few places where you might have a little rough spot getting over a little bump. But if you take it slow, I think for a lot of folks they could do that. There's some dogs. There's a trailer back over there. I was curious yesterday when we drove by. I wanted to see what was down this road. Now I see, because we've been seeing these big logging trucks come up and pass us and then go down the hill into Flagstaff or wherever they go. So let's take a look and see what goes on down this road. And you saw that logging truck, and every once in a while we'd see one go by, maybe once every hour or so. It wasn't that frequently that it caused a disturbance. But it was just such a surprise when you saw one coming down that road. It's like, where are these things coming from? And it's this road right here. And you see, I'm going back a little farther, and there's places back here. I think a lot of folks don't realize that this road has been smoothed out and graded for the logging trucks. At one time, this road was probably not as smooth. It's probably a lot rougher. And what people just assume that it's not. It's the same way it used to be maybe a few years back. But I think a lot of people don't realize that it's smoothed out. So there are places back here that are pretty easy to get to, especially with this road being smooth. And I did find a few people way back here, maybe a mile from where I turned off, in tents and vans and stuff, who explored and ventured out this way. Just such a beautiful area, and the weather was so great. Eventually I stopped seeing anybody, so I decided, well, this is probably a good place to pull over. But yeah, once you get back here, the trees do kind of start to thin out a little bit. So if you're looking for shade, it's probably not an area you want to get to. I've come about a mile on that road, And I saw my last dispersed camper just a little ways back. I don't see any more dispersed campers out here. That's not to say that you couldn't camp out here, but we're pretty far out. We're about a mile from where I turned off the road there. This is interesting though. I know we're on the, if you're wondering where I'm at right now, the lake is kind of southwest of where I am. And that turnoff was a little bit west of the lake. So supposedly there's trails that go around the lake, but I don't think I'm going to do them all because some of them I wasn't sure if it was going into a private area. And I couldn't find out any definitive information on Gaia maps, so I'm not going to try and venture off that way and then get caught up in some private area and have to turn around and just come back again. But you can see how much room there is out here. It's amazing. I'm sure it goes quite a ways. They must be doing some logging farther down this road. And this looks like it's been graded recently. I mean, my goodness, you could come back here quite a ways. Well, I doubled back and now I'm at the lake sign here. And there's another road here that goes back. And I see people back there dispersed camping. Like I said, there's supposed to be a trail that goes around the whole lake. But somewhere over there it cuts off. And I think there may be like a ranch or some kind of Forest Service building or something. Because I looked on the map, it looks like there's a building. The road stops, trail stops, but then it continues at the west end of the lake over there. So there's a blank spot in the trail. But there's people all the way out here. I did find something. I'll show you. Arizona Trail sign. Usually they have like a Arizona Trail sign. This is all there is. I don't know if that shows up on the camera or not. It says Arizona Trail, National Scenic Trail. So this right here is part of the Arizona Trail. And it cuts over and goes down this road. And probably that little sign right there will say something. So they don't want you going past this thing here, close to all motorized vehicles. So I shouldn't go driving over there or camping over there. But you can take the road. There's the sign. 128D, Arizona Trail. So this goes on and continues all the way up somewhere that way. But it's a long trail because it twists and turns and winds. I'm ready for some sun. Come on, Mr. Sun, shine on me. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. Boom, boom, boom. As I want some solar for my battery. All right, back on. Take you up to the Perkins Observatory, which is part of the Lowell Observatory system. And I did a little research because I wasn't sure if this was a public observatory that you could go up to and look at, but no, it's actually what they call a working observatory. This is for people who are doing research and studying, and they need the observatory. There's one of the National Geographic observatories there, and some of them are closed. On Thursdays there's closed, and on the weekends once in a while they do bring up bus loads of there's the Perkins Observatory I'm heading up to right there, but once in a while they'll bring bus loads of people up here, and I think they're probably coming from ASU or NAU, I should say, coming up here to do research or show them the telescopes and stuff. And it looks to me like there's several different kinds of telescopes. Some of them are the regular optical telescopes, but I think right back in there are some electromagnetic telescopes, or the they use with to study radio waves, radio telescopes. I think that's what they call them. Just really neat that this is all up here. Now off to the left up there is an area that you can disperse camp on. and you can disperse camping back down. It's kind of rough though. If you go off to the right, I'm sorry, up here. But I was so surprised that I found an Arizona Trail sign. Let me show you in just a second. I keep running into these. Okay, I did find a signpost. Every now and then you find these on the trail, and sometimes they leave stuff for hikers that are coming through here. Water or first aid supplies. I'm just going to leave that there. I'm not messing with that. Looks like there's some water there. But the 790-mile trail, and it starts way down. Oh, it says Huachuca Mountains Coronado National Memorial. It goes through the Santa Ritas. There's no cities here though. But anyway, there's Tucson. Oracle State Park goes all the way up through there. Tonto, Roosevelt Lake, Blue Ridge. We've been up there and seen the signpost there. Mormon Lake. We were up here at Mormon Lake and saw it. And then here we are right here, somewhere in this area. And then it goes to San Francisco Peaks. Those are the big mountains. All the way up. Now, I don't know if it goes down through the Grand Canyon. But look what it looks like, huh? And then it goes up to Utah. If you're interested in checking it out, here's a number for you to call. Or you can check out www.aztrail.org. That's a long trail. That would take a little time. Definitely plan ahead and prepare. All right, back to camp. Getting kind of gray. Look at that. Yeah, I better get back. I wonder what happened to this tree. Wow. It looks okay down here, but it doesn't look so good up there. Those are big birds. Ravens? Yeah, the black ones. Crows or whatever they are. Huh? It's nice. They got little fire pits for us already. We can't burn anything yet though. We had an interesting situation last night, and I thought I would say something about it. And for those of you who've been camping before, you might have had this happen to you, or maybe you're going out camping and you might run into this kind of a situation. We had about 7:30, it was dark after dinner. It was already dark and it's starting to rain, and we noticed that there were headlights out here right where I'm standing. And you can see how close our camper is. And I'm like, who is this parked? Probably, 30 feet at night. And I couldn't see what kind of vehicle it was. I couldn't tell who was in the vehicle. I just know they pulled up here and they left their lights on for a few minutes. So we kind of watched them because it was getting to be about 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock, and they just sat here for a while, and then their lights went off. And I think what it turned out later in the morning, we found out it was a lady by herself with a dog. And it wasn't a problem, but it was a little bit one of those situations where if you're a nervous person and you're out camping, dispersed camping like this, and somebody pulls up next to you, you might get a little bit nervous. It did make me a little bit nervous, but we've been camping a lot. And there's no rules of etiquette that I know of, but there are probably like unwritten rules. And if you're out camping and you go someplace and you travel by yourself and you want to find a place to park, don't park right next to somebody, because they might be a little bit nervous just like you. And they might not, if they don't know who you are and you don't know who they are, don't park so close. I don't know how to put this. It's just, you have this whole area. Look, we have this whole area here, and She could have easily pulled off in here and maybe pulled in those trees right there and not been right on top of us. And it was just kind of strange situation. It turned out to be okay. There was no harm, no foul. But if you're a seasoned traveler like we are, and you know what, you probably had something like this come up before, where somebody comes through and they're just not quite sure of the rules, or maybe they're a little bit nervous themselves. That's kind of what I think might have been. She just parked here for safety, figuring, well, there's somebody right here, so I'll just park right next to him and be safe. But not always a good idea. If there's room out here in a place like this, and you've got room to park without being right on top of somebody, give everybody a little space. But everything's fine. I know one night we were at up at Blue Ridge, and it was late at night, about 1 o'clock in the morning, 12:30, 1 o'clock, and somebody came. We were camping out in the middle of the woods, and somebody came driving up on us with their headlights on the brights right through our front windshield, and they just stopped with their lights shining right in our motorhome, probably 75 feet from us, and just sat there for 15 minutes, and finally continued on down the road and turned around and went a different way. That's like, who comes out here in the middle of it? It's just weird things like that. Once in a while you have things like that happen to kind of set you off a little bit. Well, so ends our second day at Marshall Lake, and we did a little walking around, and some beautiful cactus flowers. I think they call these claret cup flowers, and just wanted to take some pictures. Aren't they beautiful? So stay tuned for our next one next time. Wish you safe travels wherever you're going. And if you like this kind of video, please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to ring the bell to be notified. Next week, or the next episode, will be camp cooking and our trip to Pine Grove Campground, and a few other things that we had fun doing. Catch you later. Bye.